especially when it came on to old school music. So, DJ Frank, Mr. Nelson, sir, it's a pleasure to reconnect with you and to learn. I saw this on Facebook. What? A book on cybersecurity? Like you have another life?
Yes, it's always fun to explore and see what's happening on the other side of the world.
Okay, so we knew you for your night job, but you actually had a day job in a completely different world all the time. So let's find out about that. First, where you come from, Frank?
Oh, Mona Heights, that beautiful community nestled between Ligani and Papine. Grew up in Mona Prep, Woolmerion, but people thought I was a Campionite because I spent so much time at Campion High School.
And when did you become Frank instead of Christopher?
I became Frank probably at age 13 or 14. And it's actually short for Frankenstein. Everybody just called me Frankenstein. I think I had, what was it? Either measles or something that left this scar. And it looked like a diode that Frankenstein had on the side of his face. And, everybody decided to call me Frankenstein, and I just, held on to that name, and I just said, okay, then I'll use it, and I call myself Frank, and eventually Ranking Frank, as some people know me.
So when did you find that love of music, Frank?
I found that love listening to Peter Phillips from In Crowd Disco that you might know of.
In Crowd? What is that?
In Crowd is now Disco Crowd.
Francois is shaking his head at me.
Peter Phillips was the person that always played at all of these events. And I would watch him, and I would watch him with, Tiger in the place, the Bam Bam. He was the DJ for him, and I grew up around just hearing that. And eventually, Peter then helped me to create my own disco, which became the Soul Sensation Disco with Frank and Ferno.
How was that accepted by your family, Frank? Because clearly you had a whole other series of activities going on that had nothing to do with music.
I think the interesting part of it was that my mother, Barbara Nelson, who used to work at RJR, probably in the same studio that you're in, actually attended a concert that I played and DJ'd at the community center. And based on the response of the people there, she then encouraged me and helped me to, grow my musical experience. She actually was a disc jockey that worked at RGR, worked at Capitol Stereo with, a lot of the people that, Marie Goff and, Norma Brown and people like that. So Paul Plummer, these are people that I knew as a teenager growing up.
So you had it in your blood,
in my blood.
Even while you were pursuing other day job directions. So the study now, or the side of you that has this interest and affinity for technology, how did that develop?
So that developed while I was actually working at Singer as a marketing manager for Singer, the brand that you know in Jamaica. And they wanted to do some rebranding with technology. And at the same time, I was exploring creating the Consumer Electronics Show. And, I got much deeper into, this was when they were coming out with, the whole digital technology and storage. And I actually then began to work for Paul Scott and Melanie Sobrati of Facey Group, the chairman and co-chairman of the Muslims Group. And they were exploring putting out more technology through Xerox and card branding and supporting the banks throughout the Caribbean. And I kind of became their point person, traveling to Barbados and Trinidad and Latin America, acquiring companies for them or with them, building out this network that was supporting digital. And the component that was really interesting was that every time you put in technology, you had to have the security to support that technology. And I just got deeper and deeper into every time people would ask, well, how secure are these terminals that we're using that people are going to be paying by? And eventually I just really began to love what I was doing. And here I am today,
Here
still
you are
playing
today.
music.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you about when and how we can listen. But while we're on cybersecurity, here you are today with a book. Tell us about the book.
So the book came about, I think, because I like to volunteer my services. And I think also because I've been helped by so many people who look at a young person and say, I'm going to help this person. I'm going to give them an opportunity. And it then transcended to me, becoming a teacher of cybersecurity and project management at one of the colleges in Canada. And there was just so much information because here I was teaching, every day to these really young students, some from India, Nigeria, sorry, some of them even from Jamaica. And I have all of this information, and I said, you know what? The best way to get people more interested in it is to create a book, a beginner's book, to simplify it, because a lot of people look at cybersecurity to be this mystery and, a lot of technology. And it really isn't. It's just a way of life. It's a way of thinking of how to protect your devices or your small business. And I simplified it and put it in this book, which is really to encourage young people to explore cybersecurity and for small to mid-sized companies to put in checks and balances to protect their information and the data that they're collecting for their customers.
You've whetted my appetite. What the book name?
It's called the first line of defense, the beginner's book for cybersecurity. And when I say the first line, it means you are the first line. Every employee is the key to protecting.
Where do you get the book, Frank?
It's on Amazon. The book is on Amazon, First Line of Defense. And I'm actually working along with my friends in Jamaica. You may know Angela De Freitas from Choices. And we are actually going to be giving away the e-read, the digital version of the book, free to everyone who wants a copy. And in the Caribbean, through her website, Angela, which is called choices.com, on November 27th for 5 days.
That's a big opportunity.
Yeah, we just want everyone to have an opportunity to explore this, because the field of cybersecurity does not have enough people. You will never be without a job if you're in cybersecurity. There are just not enough people, so it's a great place to explore, to learn, and to get into. So we want to encourage as many young people or as many people who feel frustrated or in the current COVID environment are looking to change their job, right? You have a certain skill set. You may be in law, or you may be a compliance officer, and you just want to switch to something else. It's a great read. It's not a huge book, 130
It's not your only
pages.
book either. You have a book on autism? How comes?
Well, my son, who's 9 years old, was diagnosed as autistic about 7 years ago. And, I just chose to embrace it and learn as much as possible and started going out and speaking on the subject. Spent some time at Johns Hopkins University where they did the testing on him for a couple of days. And because I had to help him, I then compiled this and then wrote a book about how to protect your child. Because there are lots of issues as it relates to raising a child and how they go to school and what you should look out for if you think your child might be autistic.
What's the name of that book?
That one is called Protecting an Autistic Child at School and in Everyday Life. And a second one, which is called The Prince of Pickering, which is where he grew up in Pickering. So we call him the Prince. And it's a animated version which shows, characters of him growing up, that, he can't sleep at night, and, how light affects him and how he reacts to other people with his autism. So he actually is now sharing his story with other people through his book, and he understands what he has and how he can help other people.
How old is he?
He's 9.
He's 9. Okay. Boy, now I'm curious. I'm going to go look up the Prince of Pickering, Frank. But for the other people who are also curious because they heard about DJ Frank, where do they find you to listen to you? Because you still play.
I have not played for about a year. Some people may actually remember. I played about a year ago with Squeeze. Some people may know my partner in the disco, which was Ferno. He passed away from a heart attack a few years ago. So, it's kind of like you and Francois every day. You're close, and then you kind of lose that person. Mm-hmm. And I think writing has helped me to really just spend time, just kind of getting some of these feelings out. Okay. So I will start playing again. I'm still close to Squeeze and all of my DJ friends.
And how do we follow you? So that when you do start playing, we can find you. How do we keep up with
I am going to let you know. Mm-hmm. I will reach out to you, Paula, and let you know. And the next time I'm in Jamaica, I'm going to connect with you because I'd love to come and play music there first.
Thank you.
RJR and Famous. That's my home.
We will love that. Thank you, Frank. We have to wrap up and head to the BBC News, but it was lovely catching up with you. Thanks for sharing the story.
Just want to say thank you so much, and my love to Francois. He's always had my back. He's my brother. He's my friend, and what I consider you guys to be the gold standard. So thank you so much.
Great to hear you, my brother.
All my love, Francois.
All right.
That was Christopher Nelson, cybersecurity and project management professional, also known as DJ Frank.